Hi friends, Tina Bickford here from the Tatted Stamper. Welcome to my craft room. I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. I love making cards and I love teaching people how to make beautiful cards. So let's make a Christmas card. I'm gonna switch down. I apologize for the ring light reflection. So let's just walk through some of the products that we're going to be using. We're going to be using a lot of stuff. So the first product that I'm going to be using is the Country Birdhouse. So the Country Birdhouse has all of these beautiful, just really fun font, the sentiments, hoping you have the best day ever, happy birthday, nice and simple, hello friend, this beautiful birdhouse that can be stamped, colored, just a couple of other fun things. And it also has coordinating dies. So the dies, look at all these dies. Oh my God, you guys, there are 23 dies in this. So you have individual standalone dies that will actually cut the image out. You have dies that will cut out the images that you stamp. And just all kinds of fun extras, flowers and leaves and a stand. And then, you know, the roof line. So cool. So the only thing that we're going to be using from this this die set is this bottom one here, and we're going to be using it for something that it just kind of unexpected. So we're going to use that. I'm just going to set those aside. And then we're going to be using the Humble Home. So this is another really sweet stamp set. You can actually get a coordinating punch with this, sold right now as a bundle. And anytime you're able to buy a set as a bundle, you save 15% off the cost of the total if you get the bundle. So this one's kind of cool. We're actually just going to be using this little house here. So we're going to do that. Just grab my acrylic blocks. We're going to use my acrylic blocks. So we're going to use that. Let's just load that one up on an acrylic block. Just like that. Set that one aside. We are going to be using the Greetings of the Season dies. These are super fun, super cool, just different shaped tags. Very cool. And there is a coordinating stamp set that has all kinds of different holiday greetings on it, which I didn't get. I really just wanted the dies, and we're going to be using this fun one right here. This fun little shape. And then we're going to be using a couple of embossing folders. We're going to be using this one right here, which is the So Swirly embossing folder. This one's kind of cool. It could be, you know, water, waves, snow, ice. It could be just, you know, crazy groovy. If you were doing some kind of a 70s thing, you can do that. We're also going to be using the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. This one is very beautiful. Okay, so we're going to be using both of those. And then the last bundle that I'm going to be using is the Christmas Labels bundle. So this bundle comes with coordinating dies that are kind of fun shapes. All these fun shapes here. And the sentiments are actually designed to fit in the dies. So like you'll have a couple of these, like the the winter wishes and the love and joy that will fit perfectly in there. They're slanted the right way to fit right in there. The images on the front are not to scale, but you can see how that just works there. And then this is the one we're going to use, this one, because this one's my favorite of all of these, because it's really fun. We're going to use this one here. And you can see, again, it's not to scale. The front is not to scale, but you can see how these are going to fit right on there, right on that label. So we're going to use those, and we're actually going to use that one that says Merry Christmas to you. Use that one. Put that one on my block. And then I can set that aside. All right, we've got some fun stuff going on. All right, so the next thing, so we're going to be using Pool Party White and Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm going to be using some Pool Party ribbon. Just some grosgrain ribbon. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just grabbing, you can see, like, I've got just scraps here. Like, this is just a scrap of black paper because I'm going to do something kind of fun with this. I don't need the whole piece of paper. So I'm just going to die cut a piece out of there, and then I'm going to die cut the Pool Party here. Ooh, that fits just nicely. I think I will do that. So let's get some let's do some die cutting first. So let's do the tag on just a scrap piece of white. Okay, so when you're doing just move some of this stuff out of the way so that I can have the whole thing here. I'm going to try to do this on camera. So bring your die cutting machine. Let's do it this way. Bring my die cutting machine in. Okay. And when you're doing your dies, when you're cutting dies with the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, you need your base plate 1 and you need your plate 2. Now on the base plate 1, it does tell you how to use your sandwich, so your different plates. So if you're doing dies, this is telling you you need 1, 2, and then 2 of your number 3 cutting plates. So that's these cutting plates here. Okay, so if you're doing embossing, which we're also going to be doing, we're going to be using both of these different sandwiches here. So when you're doing the die cutting, we'll go back to that. You need 1 and 2. So obviously when you cover up your base plate now, how smart is that? They put the sandwich configuration here for you so that you don't have to keep moving. So we're going to do that and load up a plate, bottom plate. And I'm going to put the Pool Party on here. Let me just flip that plate over. Put the Pool Party on here, and that fits just barely. So I'm just going to use a piece of washi tape to kind of keep that in place. And then for the white, put the white down here. And then for the black, I'm just going to trim that up a little bit so that it fits on my plate. And I'm just going to cut that. It doesn't have to be all the way on that. And then I'm just going to top that with my top cutting plate. And I am going to roll this through. So pop at the end. Now I have this beautiful tag, kind of fun with all of that stitching around the corner. That's on the edges. That's very fun. And then we have our tag. So our tag, let's push this out gently. Isn't that fun? Cool. We have that. And then we have this black piece. And you can see, oops, I didn't cut it right. It's not, that's all right, because I don't want all of that anyway. What I want is a piece. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way so that I can show you this a little bit better. Okay, so this is going to become a base to this. So I want the bottom to be about the same width as this. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to take a pencil. I can find a pencil. Or just anything, I guess. Pencil. Sorry for my arm. And I'm just going to make a mark on here where I can see it. Just a little mark. You can't really see that. Yeah, there. Just making a little mark. And I'm going to cut this in the other direction. So I'm going to actually flip this over and fit this right into the channel of that. You can see where the cutting blades are. I'm just fitting it right in between so that I know where that cutting blade is. I'm going to flip it over and I'm looking for my mark, and I have it right there. So now I'm going to take my washi tape and I'm just going to tape that piece to the die. And I'm going to roll this through the machine. Now, when I do this, I only want to cut just that little end. So the way that I'm going to make sure I only cut that end is I'm actually going to put my top cutting plate. I'm not going to put all the way to the end because it's only going to cut between the two cutting plates. So I'm just going to put just like that, and I am going to roll this through part of my arm there. So now I have this piece just like that. Okay. All right. Now I am going to move this out of the way again. Get that out of the way. And then we are going to grab the materials for our card base. All right. So we are using a piece of the basic white cardstock, and it's 8.5 by 11, and we're going to line it up on the 11-inch side, cut it halfway at 5.5 inches. And then we are going to turn it, rotate it, and then we're going to score it halfway. The 8.5, we're going to score it at the 4 1/4. And then for this piece that we have here, I want a layering piece that I'm going to emboss. So I want this to be a little bit smaller than the card base itself, the front of the card base itself, so that there's a little bit of an edge around it. So I'm going to do this one at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now, when I use my paper trimmer, I do like to cut up towards this edge because I feel like it helps me keep that paper in place. Sometimes when I cut away from that, the paper kind of shifts and I don't get a nice, clean, straight cut. And that is not because of the paper trimmer, that is because of me. But that is how I like to do that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I want to do a little bit of stamping. We are going to stamp, oops, do that part right there. All right, so we are going to stamp now our little house, our little gingerbread house, this guy, with Memento black, and I'm going to stamp it right on this pool party tag. Okay, ink that up really good. And I'm gonna line this up so that the house is meets these edges right here, but I want the bottom of the house to be somewhere in this little bottom tag part. So I'm just gonna come in, line it up best I can. I'm gonna just pull it towards me a little bit here, sorry. And then come down just a hair and stamp. And I'm just going to press and hold it for a second and lift it up. And you can see just like that. And then the Merry Christmas to You tag. We'll do this one also while we have this out. I'm going to ink this one up in the Memento Black. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to bring it in a little bit closer so that I can line it up and stamp. So you can now see how that lines up there. Isn't that cool? Cool. All right. And set those aside and those aside. And then what I wanted to do with that tag, just gonna grab my blending pens, my pool party blending pens, because the word Christmas has this space that can be colored. And I thought, well, if it's there, I'm gonna color it. So I'm gonna give it almost a beige look with the pool party. So I'm coming in with the light. So the blending markers, and I'm so sorry, the stamping blends, when you buy these, you get a set of two. One is a lighter color and one is a darker color. There you can see the difference. The pool party is kind of hard because it is a very light color, but you can see the difference in the two. Each pen has like a bullet tip and a brush tip. And you can see that on the front of the marker here, not just by the width of the line, but also the marker itself. And on the back of the marker, you can still see it with the line. And I do love my blends. So I'm just going to come in here, and from the top down, I'm just going to color about halfway in those spaces. Just about halfway down. And it's very light. Pool Party is a very light color. So you can see, I don't know how well you can see that. It doesn't really show up on camera very well. So I'm going to come in with the darker Pool Party, and then you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'm just going to do now the bottom half. And what's going to happen, the light and the dark ink is actually going to start to blend together. And I think what I'm going to do is come right back with that light just a little bit and just drag some of that dark ink right up into the light. Just like that. So you get this. Very subtle. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with, I don't have, with the white, I was going to do just like watercoloring in there, but it was very, very fine. So I just got this white ballpoint pen. It writes white, and I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to put a little white on the top of the chimney, on these windowsills, and the roof line. Just like that. Again, very subtle. It's very subtle. But let me pull that up a little bit. Okay. So these pieces are all done with stamping. So what we're going to do is do some embossing next. So the So Swirly is the first one that we're going to emboss. So this So Swirly, I'm going to do my layering panel for the front in the So Swirly. So with the So Swirly, because it is not a 3D, oops, what you need is just your base plate. Oops. Let me just get this. So just your base plate and both cutting plates. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that over there. I'm just going to roll that through off camera just for because of my desk space. So I'm just going to figure out where I want this. And I have a lot, I need to wipe that off. I have a lot of, I did a card with some splattering and I got it all over my, the outside of my embossing folder. So I'm just going to put that in there and I am going to roll that through the machine. Top at the end. Come back. And then you can see perfect. Okay, so we've got that and we've got that. And so the next embossing folder that we're going to use is the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. This one's really cool because it's like a snowstorm. So there's a you know, big snowflakes and stuff in there. And then when you get down to the bottom of this, it's like a higher concentration of snowflakes. So it's like building up down here. So this is a 3D. So with the 3D, it's a little bit thicker than a standard embossing folder. So when you put this one through the stamp cut and emboss machine, you're just going to be using your base plate 1 and your specialty plate 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to figure out how I want this positioned in here. And I don't think you can really see that very well, but I want the snowflakes, these 2 snowflakes here, to show up in this open area. So I'm just going to close that. Put that in there and roll that through the machine. Like so. And so what we get for this is now that pretty. All right, so now we can start putting this thing together, I think. No, one more thing. One more thing. So, and it takes a little bit for the white craft ink to dry. So I'd like to do this part next so that I can set this aside. So I want the snowflakes that I embossed on this, I want them to be white. So I'm just going to take my white craft ink. I'm going to take this, hold it by the bottom, and I'm just going to gently drag my white craft ink pad across that. So now you can see that snow is white. Pretty. Now I'm going to set that aside to dry just for a little bit while we put this together. So I am going to grab my bone folder and I'm going to fold my card base. I do like to match, even though I scored it, I do like to match up the corners to make sure I have that nice and even, and then give that a good burnish there. Now, with this So Swirly, I wanted to do something a little bit, because it looked a little plain to me with the first one that I did. So I'm going to grab my pool party and I am going to grab my little scrap piece of paper here and I'm going to get a blending brush. And I'm going to load up my blending brush with the Pool Party ink, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to come in here over on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to swirl this around and make just like a big circle. And it's okay if there's no ink on the inside of this because our tag is going to be adhered to that. So there. Cool. All right. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, we're going to adhere this black base part to this. Now I just like to put my liquid glue. Some demonstrators call it green glue. Just put it right on here. And I'm going to just position this. I'm trying to be careful not to touch that white ink. And I'm just going to line that up there on the bottom. Like so. Set that aside. And we're going to put our layering piece on. Now you can put your layering piece on any way that you want. I like using the liquid glue. For most of my stuff, I use the liquid glue. I don't know, I just like it. But you could use whatever adhesive of choice. And I'm just making sure that my card opens the right way. And I'm going to put, so when you're using the liquid glue, you do want to be pretty liberal with the glue on embossed pieces because it's trying to adhere, you know, to raised surfaces. So I just give it a little bit of a press and just hold it for just a minute. Don't press too hard. You don't want any excess glue, you know, coming out. Just do that. And then grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, so here we are going to grab our Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this guy here. Oops. Excuse me. Like that. Take those. And I'm going to position this here kind of in the center of where that is. To me, it just makes that look like it's our little tag has a little glow. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of our tag, like so. And that take your pick tool is great for getting the backings off. And I'm just going to position this up here. Now with the label, certainly you could put it down at the bottom. If that is your preference, you could put it down at the bottom for sure. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do. So I'm going to try to do this without making a terrible mess. So I did find that I wanted a little bit of a black border around here. So I just took my black Stampin' Right marker and just edged around here very carefully. Now, on my sample card, I did this before I glued this tag on, so it was obviously much easier. And I did get a little bit of black on there. So I'm going to just see if I can pull this up and just move it over just a hair. And I think I can do this. Do this. See, this is what card making is all about. Just scooch that over just a hair. Like so. And then we're going to take this pool party ribbon, and I'm just going to do a little faux bow. So just take a piece of ribbon, tie it in a knot. I'm terrible with bows. I'm just terrible. I cannot make them to save my soul. So we do the little fake one. You just do that and trim off that tail like so. Grab a glue dot, put a glue dot right on there, and we're just going to put that ribbon right at the top like that. There. So now we have a Christmas card. And it looks like it's a little snow globe. Cute. So let me know if you are watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the card. Let me know if you would put the label at the top or at the bottom. Tell me which way you like that better. And yeah, tell me what are the colors. What other colors would you do this in? Would you do like a pink or a blue, maybe yellow? This would actually be really cute to do. This is almost like a lantern. You could do this in white and then stamp a candle in there with a yellow glow. That would be really cool. That might be actually, I might try that one. I might try that one next. So cool. Yeah, let me know what you think. So let me just flip the camera back to me. Sorry. Sorry. Let me just grab that. Sorry. I'm crazy. All right, so let me just know what you think of the card, what you would do. Let me know what you would do different, because not everybody's gonna make the card the same way. But let me know what you think. All right. All right. Have a great day.